Hello, everyone. Myself and our tax director, Simon, wanted to take a little bit of time today to give you an update on MTD, which you may have heard about. We've kind of released some content previously, but the implementation date's drawing kind of ever closer. So we wanted to give you an update on where we're at the moment and what we know so far. To kick us off, Simon, do you want to just give a little summary on making tax digital, or MTD, and what we know so far?
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Hayley. Hi, everyone. So, making tax digital has been something that has been spoken about by HMRC and in the accountancy world, I suppose, for probably the last 10 years. It's existed in the world of VAT for quite a while. Obviously, a lot of our viewers, a lot of people watching this won't be affected by that. But what they will be affected by is making tax digital is now expanding to income tax. So what that's going to mean is from April 26, people with self-employment income, not profit, but income and rental income above a certain limit are going to start to have to make quarterly submissions. And that limit for the first year will be whether you have £50,000 of combined income from rental and self-employment. And that's measured looking at your 24, 25 tax returns. So those are the tax returns that are being done now. From April 27, it's going to be a lower limit, £30,000, again, looking at rental and self-employment income.
Perfect. So if you're a sole trade practice owner or a sole trade dental associate, it's probably quite likely you've got income of over 50,000 per annum, so you're going to be affected.
Yeah, almost
Um,
certainly.
and if you've got a few properties as well, you've got multiple rental properties.
Yeah.
Um, so if you tick that box, then what are we going to have to do come April 26th?
So you have an obligation to be registered by April 26 if you're affected, and that's registered before that point. What you'll then have to do is make quarterly submissions every quarter, quite soon after the quarter ends. So the first one, April, May, June, will be due in July, and then every 3 months thereafter with an annual declaration to go with it. What those submissions will consist of is kind of just the headlines of what happened in that quarter. So income and costs for most people, just those kind of totals. But there's multiple ways that might happen, I suppose, as well.
So when you say there's multiple ways that might happen, presumably multiple softwares that could be used to make those submissions.
Yeah, I suppose it ranges from whether you maintain something like zero, which if you're a dental practice owner, you hopefully you do, because I actually think
Mhm.
it's best practice that you are maintaining zero, and zero will pull those figures together and submit that for you. Or there's also something called bridging software, which is designed to bridge the gap between keeping some simple records on Excel, but also being able to submit those in a way that is compliant with making tax digital.
Okay, so when we say bridging software, that's probably more relevant for our dental associates who might not have kind of a dedicated business bank account. I think most of our practice owners, you've had your business bank account, everything income and expense wise goes out of that account. We can link it to zero. There's kind of quite a well-trodden path in keeping that data. If you're a dental associate, you most likely maybe don't have a dedicated business account and you're used to kind of just giving us income and expenses on a spreadsheet to do your tax return each year. There's a software that can kind of, well, it's a bridging software, can bridge that gap. So it'll take your data from your Excel that you keep up to date, and then use that to make the quarterly submission. Um, so sounds pretty straightforward, but maybe a bit misleading because there's quite a bit of confusion that surrounds this, Simon, isn't there?
Yeah, it does sound straightforward, and on the face of it, it doesn't sound like a terrible idea from HMRC, but the implementation hasn't been great. So, like I said at the start, it's been spoken about for the last 10 years. It's only in the last month or two that really HMRC have produced any kind of real tangible guidance on how it will work. Software providers have only recently had their kind of software specifications to be able to know what software they even need to try to build. So that's still coming to market. What we're also not quite sure is who has kind of what obligation to be making the submissions and exactly what they might consist of, other than
Mm.
just totals.
Yeah. So it doesn't necessarily have to be us as accountants that make those quarterly submissions. I think HMRC are also very much pushing that you kind of as a business owner or a self-employed individual can kind of make the submissions by yourself, but that then causes kind of another layer of confusion as to how us as your accountants and advisors interlink with kind of any submissions that are made either by yourselves or with less of a kind of uh, process, I guess, than we have. We have kind of a routine process for doing year-end accounts and year-end tax returns. It's a bit unclear as to what we need to do
Yeah.
for those quarterly submissions.
Yeah, there's a lot in the air about kind of balancing the service we're providing and not kind of creating too much unnecessary cost,
Mm,
but also balancing that with what our regulatory bodies expect, and they're still kind of developing their guidance on this as well as HMRC continue to update and change their own guidance. And we've also got to factor in what our insurers and what the insurance industry is going to expect from accountants as well. So there's quite a lot that's still changing with only 8 months to go. It's
yeah,
a bit of an unusual situation.
yeah. Um, but if there's any kind of reassuring message we want to kind of offer our clients is that we're very much on the case with the kind of limited and ever-changing um, information that is being released. Um, so I know that it's kind of there's adverts on the TV for kind of various different softwares, etc. We very much kind of don't want to jump into something too soon and kind of release our exact kind of recommendation while we're still kind of gathering what this landscape looks like. Um, so if you feel like you could be or are going to be affected by this, what would your advice be at this moment, Simon?
So I would say Um, well, actually, important point to make is that it is only people with self-employed and rental income specifically. So partnerships are not caught, limited companies are not caught. But of course, you could have income from a limited company or partnership with the rental income on the side that still captures you. So there
Mm,
might be quite a lot of people who are affected. I would say watch this space. Actually, we're continuing, as you say, to understand exactly what's going to be required from you as clients and from us as your advisors, and the best way to handle that.
do you think there's any chance this won't happen in
I
April?
think there's a strong chance it won't happen. I might go as far as to say I'm 50-50 as to whether this will happen. So it
Yeah.
was recently announced that they will never, or they don't have any plans to roll it out to companies. So the message until a couple of weeks ago was, yeah, we just don't have a timeline for companies. But now they're saying it's not going to happen for companies. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't happen for income tax, but at the moment we're told it is happening and it is happening in April, so we are preparing for that.
Hmm.
But with one eye on the news and certainly on the budget that'll be coming
Yeah, that's in
in
October, isn't it? So
October, November time. We don't know the date yet, but there is a chance that it gets scrapped.
perfect. So yeah, as Simon said, watch this space. We're kind of closely monitoring everything for you. So we will reach out, and to those of you that our clients that we know are affected, we'll be kind of reaching out personally to you as well.
Yeah,
But as always, any questions, then you know where we are. Please don't hesitate to contact us. Thanks, Simon.
definitely. Thank you.